WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. All of you know I have been rocking the red here, kind of hardcore. I'm up in Toronto all week long covering games 3 and 4 for WNST. You can follow us out on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, anywhere the internet is sold from north of the border to here. Ed Frankovic is staying behind, but he was at the Verizon Center well into the evening on Saturday night. It was, a refrain that's all too familiar to Caps fans, right, Ed? The hard-fought double overtime loss in Game 2. I don't want to say an ugly effort. I mean, it wasn't an ugly effort. I mean, the Maple Leafs have stepped up their game as we expect all 8 seeds to do this time of the year. This is what makes the damn thing so treacherous, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was an ugly effort, but I'll say it was definitely an uneven effort.
Fair enough.
I don't think the Capitals are playing anywhere near close to their capability right now. They have moments where they look like they're the team we thought they were, and then they'll disappear for 10 minutes and just, want to be fancy, want to try and force the puck through the neutral zone and not take the game that's given to them. And Brooks Orpik, I spoke with him Saturday night after the game, and he, Brooks doesn't talk to the media a whole lot. So let me set the stage here. Brooks usually lets others talk, but Brooks will come in and seek media out when he's got something to say. So when I saw Brooks Orpik walk into the locker room, I immediately went over and talked to him. And he made it very clear. He doesn't understand why the team is trying to get in a rush game with Toronto. He says that plays to Toronto's strength. The Capitals' strength is getting pucks through the neutral zone and in deep on the Leafs. And the Leafs lost the defenseman on Saturday night. And he wants the Capitals to get the puck in and work their defense like they did on the game-tying goal where Backstrom scored. They had back-to-back shifts in there because they got the puck in behind their defense. And historically, that's the way the Capitals play well, when they get that heavier game going. Now, they've added some skill and some speed, and they get into that overpass mode. You and I have talked about that over and over. So Brooks was clearly not happy. The full quote is out at WNST.net. I posted up a blog on Sunday afternoon. I suggest everybody go out and read it. But it was pretty hard-hitting. I feel like it's an honest assessment of where we are after 2 games, and I'm just not happy with where they're playing. I don't think they're playing anywhere close to where they should be right now.
All right, so what changes in Toronto? I mean, certainly what I'm expecting, on Monday night and again on Wednesday night is this incredible environment of energy. One of the things I watched the Wizards game on Sunday afternoon, and it's astonishing to see what happens on that building on a Saturday night into double overtime and Unleash the Fury, and what a quieter building is like. And Toronto's not going to be that way. And if anything, that double overtime victory from the Maple Leafs perspective plants the seed of possibility in the minds of the people in Toronto, where they are absolutely blood-starved to knock the Capitals out, to get one of these games, to force this thing into that uncomfortable Game 6, that Game 7, where anything can happen. And the Maple Leafs, certainly with an hour and a half 2 hours of hockey ahead up in Canada, Monday and Wednesday night, joint's going to be jumping up there. I mean, it's going to be that nasty road environment that the Capitals don't want to find themselves in a 1-1 draw right now.
It's going to be a zoo. It's going to be a circus. Maple Leafs certainly believe they can win this series. They've come in the first 2 games and proved it from what they've done. And Mike Babcock, after the game, he certainly felt like they could still get better. He says he's going to have the matchups instead of having to change on the fly. He thinks his team can get better. He wasn't cocky or arrogant, but he was supremely confident in the way his team's playing, and he feels very comfortable with what his team is doing, and they certainly they have the Capitals playing poorly. I mean, when you look at all the turnovers the Capitals had on Saturday night, 28-17 for the Leafs. That's like, fumbling and throwing picks 4 times to just 1 or 2 for the opposition. You're going to lose most of the times when you lose the turnover ratio in football, and that's basically what we saw on Saturday night. The Capitals were unwilling to get pucks deep, and the Leafs forwards are fast, but they're also doing a very good job of keeping their defense back a bit, making it harder for the Capitals to go behind them. So I really think the Capitals have to make some adjustments, Coach Trotz and the players. And the other thing that's happening is the Capitals are losing the board battles. I mean, this kid, Zach Hyman, I asked Babcock about him, and he's like, yeah, he's great every night. I'm glad somebody finally recognized that. I don't know if he thought I was Toronto media or not, or maybe that was a shot at his own media, but he's like, I'm glad somebody finally asked me about him. That kid, Zach Hyman, was all over the ice. He was just all over the Capitals' defense. He made life miserable for whatever defensive pair the Caps have out there, and I firmly believe that they were the team that wore the Capitals' defense down. The Capitals have 3 solid pairs of D, and this kid Hyman was all over the Capitals. And the fourth line for Toronto with Brian Boyle and Kapanen and Matt Martin, they gave the Capitals all kinds of problems. They scored 2 goals, eventual game winner, against the Capitals' fourth line. So they came back and made the Capitals pay, the fourth line pay for, a good game in game 1. So I just don't like the way the Capitals' effort has been. I feel like they're leaning on their skates too much to get out of the zone, and that's leading to turnovers. They're losing focus. We saw the first goal and the fourth goal where Capitals defenseman lost sticks. I didn't see that all year. So that to me tells me that, either they're panicking or they're out of position. But for Carlson and Niskanen to lose their sticks like that, I don't think I've seen that all year, Nestor.
Ed Frankovic joining us here. You can follow him out on Twitter at Ed Frankovic during Game 3 as well as Game 4. I'm in Toronto. I will be at the ACC monitoring all things Caps. Of course, Luke will be keeping an eye on the Orioles around here at WNST. And, we're sort of monitoring all these players and the level of health, the level of experience, the difference in the pedigree of the players from the Caps to Toronto. And I know some of those young guns there have sort of come out storming. But for the amount of ice time that it took to go into a double overtime. Trotzy sat with us a month ago and said these first rounds, they take a little piece out of you. Well, we're now 3 overtime periods deep into this postseason. Where are you as far as the legs and the fatigue? Does this play into the favor of the Caps, or does this play into the favor of the Maple Leafs, these long games?
Well, the Caps seem to think it plays in their favor, and Coach Trotz on Sunday afternoon in a conference call with the media felt like the fact that, Roman Pollock got hurt on, unfortunately, it looked like he broke his ankle when Orpik hit him.
It was horrible. Yeah, it really was.
Serious. And it was very unfortunate to see that. But, you're looking at Morgan Riley, Jake Gardner, and, those 2 guys are carrying a big load for the Leafs on the back end. And, then you have Carrick and you have Martinson there back there and Rinson. And Hunwick. It's a Hunwick, Riley, and Gardner are playing a lot of minutes, and Trotz seems to think that will eventually hurt the Leafs. But it's not going to hurt the Leafs if the Caps keep playing the wrong way. The way it's going to hurt the Leafs is if the Capitals get the pucks deep and start hitting them, like they did on the goal where Eller kept it in, and then the Caps were able to get a change, and that top line came on and scored. What's happening, I'm seeing happening, is the Leafs are winning that battle, and their forwards are causing the Capitals' top 6 to be tired. When we got to that second overtime on Saturday night, the Capitals should have had more jump, and they didn't. I mean, the Leafs still had their jump, and so I was very disappointed that the Capitals weren't able to, I don't know if it was a lack of effort or what, but, Trotz is rolling 4 lines, and the Leafs still look faster. So I'm not sure what's going on with the Capitals right now, whether they're just easing their way into this, but they need to get going fast because the Penguins are up 3-0 already. And,
what the Penguins did on Sunday is incredible, right? I mean, you looked up, they were down 3-1 early. It looked like, this will be the one Columbus gets into. And now Columbus is buried. And, hey, Pittsburgh can wrap this thing up and be sitting around watching games 5, 6, 7 if the Capitals put themselves into that kind of a situation here in Toronto. These next 2 games, these are crucial. I mean, Caps got to come back with a chance to close this thing out on Friday. They have to go up to Toronto and get these 2 games.
Yeah, they have to get into their process, and the Penguins, it's perfect for them. If they don't even have Carl Hagelin yet. I mean, they got all kinds of guys scoring there. And they had the American kid, I forget his name, but he had a hat trick tonight. Crosby just makes an unbelievable play. It seems like whoever plays with Crosby is going to score. I mean, that's how good he is. He's definitely the best player in the game right now. I know a lot of people like Connor McDavid, but to me, it's Crosby. I mean, and I watch the way they play. They bring it every night. Their effort doesn't tail off. I mean, they have their breakdowns, and they could have lost that game. Let's be honest. I mean, Marc-Andre Fleury makes a save with his helmet, on Dubinsky there at overtime. But, when it's going good, it's going good. And
the great Jake Gunsel, right? I mean, Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah, Gunsel. There you go, Gunsel. Yeah, yeah. 3 goals. I think all the goals in the game on Sunday night between the Penguins and the Blue Jays were scored by Americans. So USA Hockey gets a little feather in their cap there. They 9 goals all USA
They're in
Hockey.
Pittsburgh. They're not in America. Come on, you're making that up. That's
right.
not
You make sure you
America.
tell Tomlin that when you see him, if you see him. I mean,
Well, we might be
Capitals
seeing
gotta
them
get-
next week. Capitals, the Capitals are going to see the Penguins. They got to pick it up here, and this is where it gets heavy, right? I mean, I think it gets heavy for the fans. I think it was heavy for the 18,000 people, including yourself, getting on the highway in the middle of the night on Saturday and driving back and saying, what blue and white, a brick hit us upside the head, right?
Yeah, I mean, you and I were chatting on text before the game, and we really felt like, okay, the Capitals did not play well in Game 1. They're kind of fortunate to win that game, and Trotz guaranteed the Caps would be better for Game 2. I didn't think they were better at all. I mean, I
agree.
I don't know what was going on, but I didn't think the effort was there. They came out strong. They had a 15-4 early lead in shot attempts, but then then they just get run around in their own end. It's almost like I don't know what's going on in the back end right now. They just look. They start to panic. They don't look comfortable. I don't know if they're holding their sticks too tight or they're thinking too much, but they're not playing hockey. They need to relax and play hockey and play their system. They're getting too caught up in this. I don't know what they're getting caught up in. They're not playing their system. They're trying to force things. They're making bad passes, and the Leafs are making them pay. And it's not Matthews. It's not Marner does have a goal here or there, but Nylander hasn't really scored. But it's been that fourth line. Kapanen gets 2 goals, and again, I talked about Zach Hyman. He just is causing all kinds of problems for the Capitals behind their own net. That needs to be Brett Connolly. That needs to be, Kuznetsov's got to be strong on the puck. I mean, it needs to be these Capitals guys going in and causing their defense. Matt Hunwick, Morgan Riley, and Jake Gardner. Now, Gardner and Riley are first-round picks, but, those guys are going to have to play a lot of minutes, and the Capitals have to use the word heavy. That's what the Capitals have to do. They got to get heavy, okay? This is not a rush game. This is not a speed series, because if it is, it's going to favor the Leafs. The Capitals got to just get the puck in and hit them. And I hate to say it, but it's that old Troy Brouwer type of hockey where you just go, Ovi's got to hit, Wilson's got to hit, and they got to grind out shifts in the offensive zone and wear the Leafs out. And if they don't do that on Monday night, they're going to be in big trouble. If they try to play a rush game again, the crowd's going to be there at the ACC. You're going to hear it. It's going to be fast-paced hockey. That's not what the Capitals want.
I will be in Toronto all week long for Caps and the Maple Leafs. Ed will be monitoring for Bag at Home. You can follow him during the games, games 3 and 4. And, of course, now Game 5's real, Ed. I'm already taking my wife on Friday night, down on Friday for a Game 5 situation where you're hoping to be in a situation to close the thing out. The series is starting to feel a little longer, but yet around the NHL, you mentioned the Penguins, how quickly this thing can get away from you if you're in Columbus, how quickly the thing can get away from you if you're the Minnesota Wild at this point, right?
Yeah, the Wild are down 3-0 to the Blues as well. I mean, it looks like Bruce Boudreau's going to have another early exit in the playoffs, and the coach of the Blues, I'm pretty happy for him, Mike Yao. I feel like he was undermined by Adam Oates and some guys, Ryan Suter, and Zach Parisi, partnering up with Adam Oates there, and caused a little bit of cancer in the locker room. It cost Mike Yao his job. Well, guess what? He's now the head coach of the Blues, and he's getting his revenge. And the Blues are playing some good hockey. They're getting some great goaltending. I'm very happy for St. Louis. My buddy Doug Armstrong is the GM down there, so worked for the Caps in the early 90s. So I'm happy to see Dougie doing well. I'd love to see the Blues come out of there and take on either. Well, look at what Nashville's doing. Nashville's up 2 on the Predators. So it's been an interesting playoff so far. A lot of excitement, a lot of overtime games, and that's the way it is in playoff hockey. And the first round's the hardest to win. And even though the Capitals got up 3-0 on the Flyers last year, they had to go to Game 6. So there's still a lot of hockey to play. I just would like to see the Capitals get back to their process, play their system, listen to their coaches, and not try to play the fancy, unfocused, soft, and lazy game. They got to get back to playing Capitals hockey, and if they do that, everything will be okay.
They got to start hitting, and we'll see if they can start hitting it and getting it in Game 3. Ed Frankovic will be on the scene, ed at WNST.net. You can find me out in the Bayou Toyota Audio Vault all week long. I'm going to be bringing on some hockey guests, and certainly we're looking at the NFL draft. We're waiting on the NFL schedule, monitoring the Ravens as well as the Orioles in Cincinnati, as Luke Jones will be monitoring that. And last but never least, of course, our WNST tech service will be there for any breaking news. We had the Zach Britton news come your way on Sunday. That's all brought to you by our friends at Coons Ford Security Boulevard. Dennis Colatzos will be here on Thursday driving you home, getting you ready with the SSV on WNST. That's from 3 until 5. Of course, our morning newspaper ships to your email inbox at 7 a.m. each and every morning. It has Ed's blogs, Luke's blogs, our work, all of our audio, and as well as box score standings. All that good stuff's at WNST.net. PlanetFitness.net. It's all brought to you by Planet Fitness and PlanetFitness.com. You can listen to WNST live from anywhere in the world. I got a note on Facebook, someone listening in Sydney, Australia on Sunday night as well. You can do that in the Buy a Toyota Audio Vault. It's there 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world. You download the TuneIn Radio app and listen. It's all brought to you by buyatoyota.com. Nasty at WNST.net finds me. Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram. I'll be covering all the hockey from Toronto, putting some fun stuff up, and probably stalking Geddy Lee or maybe even Rick Emmett of Triumph. I don't know. It'll be something Canadian as I am north of the border for a couple of days, watching some hockey and doing something that's on my bucket list. I haven't seen a playoff hockey game in Canada, other than I did see the Memorial Cup up in Vancouver about 11 years ago. But this is National Hockey League hockey. We'll be at the ACC all week. Checking us out on Twitter and Facebook as well. Nasty at WNST.net finds me. We're waiting on the NFL schedule. London, Minnesota, Green Bay, Nashville, Oakland. That'll all be coming up later on in the week as well. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.